Hello, welcome to the video lecture series presented by St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management. My name is Ravinder. I am assistant professor with EC department, and the broad topic that we are discussing in this lecture series will be advanced data structures, or the data structures 2 that you call it. Uh, it is a useful course for all the BCA and all the CSC and CSC students. Sorry, the broad topic or the subtopic of the advanced data structure or data structure 2 that we are discussing or going to discuss for next few lectures will be graphs. Graphs is an advanced data type or the data structure. I will not call it data type but call it data structure. And in today's lecture we are going to discuss the introduction to the concept of the graphs. Now I'll give you a minute detail of what we are going to study in next few lectures for particular this topic. Today in today's lecture, where I'm going to introduce to you the concept of the graphs. In next lecture, I'm going to introduce the representation of the graphs. After that, for 2 to 3 lectures, we'll see how we are going to traverse and search in this particular kind of advanced data structure. After that, we'll have two very popular algorithms for the traversal. One is Jagaster algorithm and second is Warshall's algorithm. And at the last 8th or 9th lecture of this particular topic, we'll see what is topological sorting, which is linked to the graphs basically. So now let me head back to the introduction to the graphs. Now before introduction, heading towards the notes which have already been provided to you, let me give you a brief concept what I'm going to talk about. Okay, let's take the example of Facebook. So suppose I draw a dot here, like this. Pardon me, I'm drawing with a mouse. Now this particular dot is your Facebook page, your home page, and all your related information. And you have a friend. I'll draw this particular dot, and this page is of your friend's page. Now, as I have told you that you are friend with this particular individual on the Facebook, so you both of you have a relationship to each other. So I'll draw that particular relationship with some other color. So I'll draw a line connecting you two. It may not be straight, but while drawing graphs, you will make sure that the lines are straight. While there is no hard and fast rule, you can draw curved lines, but again, that is a good practice. So this particular idea that we have drawn here using the Facebook's concept is what we called as graph. Now, suppose if your friend have a friend which you're not friend with. So let me draw that to make it more clear what I'm trying to say. Let's draw it here. Now this particular node has a relationship with your friend, obviously, because both of these are friend on Facebook. So I will draw the relationship, okay, between them. Now this relationship defines the connection between these two data points, okay, but I haven't drawn any line between your Facebook page and this Facebook page. So this particular graph, this particular relationship between the 3 Facebook pages conveys me, or I can intuit from this particular graph that I am friend with one of my friend and he is friend with some other individual, but that particular individual and I am not friends with each other, at least on Facebook. So this is the kind of relationship which is being depicted here with the help of graphs. Now this is just a Facebook page, but if theoretically we have to study this particular graph, we will not call them as Facebook page, obviously. So they have all these key points in this particular graph, and they have their own names. The first key point is this particular dot is called as node or vertex. Let me again try well, be vocal with that is called node and vertex. So node or vertex, okay, and the connection between this point and this particular node is called as edge. Edge. Okay, so node and vertex is your Facebook page, and edge defines the relationship between these two vertices or two nodes, and that is how this particular data structure is defined. So your friend is a node, his friend is a node, your Facebook page is a node. The relationship between you and your friend is called an edge. The relationship between your friend's Facebook page and his friend's Facebook page, that particular individual, is also called an edge. Okay, so now this is a real application. Facebook has implemented its data structure on the basis of graphs. Okay, so this is a real application where you can see the application of the graphs. The graphs are the most widely used data structure nowadays. Obviously, stacks and queues are used in your daily systems, but the time complex application, real time complex projects, almost all of them employ either trees or graphs. While graphs are more flexible than trees, so they provide a more natural relationship with as compared to trees. So they are more versatile, but again they are more complex than trees because trees are strictly written or they have fixed rules, but graphs don't have those kind of strict rules, but that is what it makes it more versatile, but at the same time makes it more complex to handle. Okay, so let's get back to the nodes. Now, how can we define a graph by using the map of India? What I am what I have tried to explain on the first few pages of the note that I have provided you to the title introduction of the graph is how I manage to get a graph out of the political map of India. Okay, so what I have done is, if I have to show the relationship between each state in the Indian nation, or to our nation, in our nation, so I will remove the political map and replace each state with a node, or you can say that each node is this in this particular graph is representing a state. Now I haven't colored, apart from this is been done by mistakenly, I haven't colored any of these nodes, you can see that, but soon we are going to color each one of them with a different color. Now, first, forget about all these connections. Suppose we haven't connected our graph. So what are the rules of connecting these graphs? And I have devised a rule that I will connect only those nodes or only those states which have common boundary with each other. Like, let's say in the case of the node which represents Jammu and Kashmir, Punjab node and Himachal Pradesh node and the Haryana node. Now you can see the nodes of Jammu and Kashmir, Chandigarh, Punjab and Himachal Pradesh are connected with each other because all of three share same boundaries at some point or other. Okay, but the node of Jammu and Kashmir is not connected to the node of Haryana directly because Jammu and Kashmir state doesn't share a common boundary with Haryana state. So that is the rule that I have devised, or I have taken into consideration while devising a graph out of this political map of India. Understood? So let's move ahead. Now in next slide, you can see I have removed the political map of India and I have colored all these nodes. So I've colored the node for each of these states. Now, coloring is again a concept of graphs, but we'll not discuss it in more detail because it is not listed in your syllabus. So we'll stick to the syllabus right now. The coloring also provides a clear depiction, a visual marvel or visual depiction of how we have structured our data structure, the graphs in this particular situation. So I have used the color scheme as such that no direct connections are of same color. So you can see this blue and this blue has no common connection of same color. That is blue. This green is not connected to this particular green directly, but through a other node. Okay. Now, this kind of diagrams are called as graph. As I have already told you that I'm trying to devise a graph out of the political map of India. All the dots are called as nodes or vertices. The single node can be called as vertex. Many of them collectively can be called as vertices, and the connections are called as edges. The connections means the relationship between two particular vertices or two particular nodes, what kind of relationship they have with each other. Okay, we'll skip that. You people can also skip these coloring slides for a while because those are just to make you understand more intuitively or more visually how we can devise a graph out of your, or how useful is graphs for implementing any kind of let's say uh, problem. Okay. Sorry. Let's move ahead. Now, let's take another real-time application of graphs. Now we have a real-time application of graphs of airline route, and this is actual application of this graphical data structure which are used by airline companies and the travel booking companies that they use on day-to-day basis for booking the airline tickets. Okay, now let's suppose this particular node is New Delhi and this particular node is Trivandrum. Now I have to go from New Delhi to Trivandrum by flight, but while booking my ticket as a user, I don't have to worry if there is a direct flight or not. But the user, the travel company, through which the travel platform through which you are going to book your flight, certainly have devised some algorithm which will find out what kind of connections or what kind of flights you have to change or use to travel from New Delhi to Trivandrum. Now, they have already defined their whole data of what kind of flights do fly between any two airports through a graphical representation. All these nodes are airports, and the connection between them signifies the potential air traffic or the potential flights between these two airports. Okay, so we have a flight, let's say if this is Mumbai, so we have a flight from New Delhi to Mumbai, and if this is Ahmedabad, so I can intuit or I can see that there is no direct flight from Ahmedabad to Mumbai. So if I have to go from Ahmedabad to Mumbai, so I have to go first to Delhi and then travel back to Mumbai. So this kind of relationship between the airports is depicted with the help of graphs. Okay, so this is a real-time application of graphs, which is used on a daily basis. You must have used it for booking an airline ticket, but have not considered how the algorithm behind the scenes is devising all that data or getting the your flight plan from the data it has. Okay, now as you can see in this particular graph, I've also shown these arrows, which is showing the direction. Now this direction is nothing but the relationship between two nodes. Now there is a relationship between this node and this node, I can see that because there is an edge between them, between these two nodes. But what kind of relationship is being defined by these arrows? The kind of relationship is being defined by the direction of this edge. So from this particular graph, I can devise that there is a flight from New Delhi to, let's say, Chandigarh, or let's say Shimla, but there is no flight back from Shimla to New Delhi. So if you have to go to Shimla, you can take a flight, but if you have to came back via air route, there is no possible route. So you have to go from, let's say, if this is Ahmedabad, you have to fly from Shimla to Ahmedabad and then back to New Delhi. So this is the kind of relationship that we have, that the airline company have devised, or it knows from the DGCA data, that there are some flights which fly between a particular airport to a particular airport, but there is no to and fro connection in the terms of air flights. Okay. So if I have to go from New Delhi to Trivandrum, first I have to fly from Delhi to Mumbai, then Mumbai to, let's say, Bangalore, and then from Bangalore I have to go back to Pune and go back to, say, Hyderabad, and then again to Trivandrum. I cannot go from this particular airport to this particular airport because the connection is not two-way connection. The relationship is from this to this side, but not from this side to this. So this is how I have devised my graph to accumulate more information, more intuition, so that it can help algorithm devise a more informed solution for your problem. Okay. Now we will have the formal definition of graphs. So as we have already discussed, graphs consist of vertices and edges. We have already seen what are the vertices. We have already seen what are the edges. We have seen what is the application of undirected graph. Facebook can be seen as an early Facebook, I would say, can be seen as an application of undirected graph, where you can see all the bio and all the photos of your friends, and your friend can do the same. But nowadays there are lot more security propositions, so that two-way relationship is not there. But still, Facebook can be seen as an application of undirected graph, and recently we have seen an application of directed graph, which is the airline routing system that is being used by the travel agencies, the travel companies. Okay. uh, all these definition basically tells you that v dash is an edge from v to v dash. In directed graph, it is possible that v dash is an edge from point node v to v dash, but there is no guarantee that v dash v is also an edge. It means, what it's trying to say is that from, let's say, this is v and this is v dash, we have an edge from v to v dash. It means there is a relationship between v to v dash, but only in the direction from v towards the v dash. But there is no edge from v dash back to v, because that arrow sign is only from v to v dash. That means there is no real-time connection if you want to traverse from this particular node to this particular node. And this is what it is saying in the definition. So you can get the intuition. We have already seen the example. So I will, okay, we can skip that. This we have discussed already. So we can see, okay, we have discussed all these things. I have discussed all these things. You can read it out just. There's no such difficulty you will face. I will end this lecture right here, and we will discuss, or formally discuss, the kind of graphs, the types of traversals, the intro to the traversal types in the next lecture. Thank you.